Edit.
Congratulations, and oh my goodness, I'm still shaking, so thank you. You've done your job, appreciate that. And I also did that virtual experience too, so woo, just coming off that.
Really.
For you, I mean, knowing this world so well, obviously, but taking over the reins from James and finally getting the chance to direct, a little bit of pressure on you?
Yeah, you could say that. You know, filling James's shoes when you're making a horror film was very scary. It's like kind of taking over a thriller that Alfred Hitchcock made. I really think he's a master of modern horror, James. Yeah. You know, you see some of the techniques and the tricks that he uses to scare audiences, they're brilliant. And so I did feel a lot of pressure to live up to that. But I figured the best thing I could do was almost block out what James had done and just act as if the film I was making was a standalone film. It wasn't a sequel. It wasn't part of a big franchise, because if I kept thinking about that, I probably would have caved to the pressure.
Exactly. And then, Lin, for you to be back, yay! I mean, how amazing is that?
Totally amazing. But I want to just say one thing about his directing too, because we all wanted Leigh to do it. I mean, whether we knew he was hesitating for whatever reasons, but Leigh also being the writer and the performer that he is. His expression to you as a director was very different than James. It was much more emotional, and because he knows the characters better than anybody. I mean, he wrote them, and sometimes we would say, hey, don't act her out for me. I would see Leigh sometimes mouthing the words during a take, but all in all, the flavor and colors that he was able to give to us as actors, which I think brought Elise to life in a brand new way. And I'm so happy to have had the experience and hope there's many more. He's a fantastic director. I told him he needs to learn to tap dance and he'll be a quadruple threat.
Dancing with the Stars.
Maybe he does
it.
Next season,
there
you go. Next season, Dancing with the Stars. There
exactly.
There you go. But you know this character so well. How do you just make us believe that you are really talking to these ghosts and other worlds? Like, what's your secret?
Acting is the only thing. I mean, it's really, I try and always come from a very real place for myself. It's not, I mean, that's something that when we first started to develop Elise, there was some conversation a little bit about, like, really, who is she and how, what kind of life does she lead? We did talk about that a bit before the first one. And kind of a magical thing happened for me at the first moment when you see Elise, that business with the doorbell and the knocking. And I said to James, what if I do both and say, I'm not sure if the doorbell works? Which sort of initiated this person, like not just a woman who comes in and who, knows what's around. She's just a woman who has a gift and she's good at it, but she doesn't know if the doorbell works. She doesn't know if she's wearing the right shoes. I mean, she's just a person. And I think I approach everything from that place, which is and also a little bit of comic, that we're all very funny. Whether we think we are or not, we're really funny. So I'm grateful that it's believable, and I'm grateful that people are embracing this character. I mean, I never would have thought.
Leigh, quickly, best scare tactic on set to get these guys to jump.
Wow, I mean, Lin doesn't need any help. She's a master of the horror film reaction and jumping. Actually, Lin is very close to the surface. She gets goosebumps very easily. She'll often rub her arms and be like, ooh, there's goosebumps. And I'll be like, we're just ordering lunch, but she's terrified. And but with the other actors...
They might forget the ketchup.
Yeah, exactly. So what if they forget the ketchup? Stephanie Scott, I had a lot of fun kind of... terrorizing, you might say. Like,
I heard about
I would
that.
do certain things. I mean, she's a 17-year-old girl, and she's very naturally able to play this character. She's not a 25-year-old pretending to be 17. She really is a 17-year-old girl, and so I felt I needed to prod her into this headspace of demons and ghosts. So I would do everything from use an air horn on her to kind of startle her right in the middle of a scene when she's trying to act. I would just use this air horn. Or, before we shot a scene, I would maybe lock her in a closet and have her listening to death metal. Anything to kind of jolt her out of her current reality and put her in this kind of demonic world,
And you also had her write a journal, which was probably extremely helpful for anybody, I mean, to keep that. But you gave her great tools to create the reality that she does create so beautifully.
Yeah,
so
you're always trying to
and
construct
again, he
it.
did a good job. What am I going to say?
Whereas with Lin, it was a real collaboration because she, as you said, she knows the character so well. So I felt like with her character, she was a co-writer and a collaborator. We both sort of built this picture of who this person is.
Well, I'm sure the wheels are turning for Insidious 4, so we'll look forward to that. Congratulations, boy.
Thank you.
You've done a bang-up job on this. Congratulations. Great to
thank
talk
you
to you.
very much.
Thank you.